That's perfect though.
Yeah, I
That
always
sounds
forget.
good.
I have to change it. I'm not sure why I can't set it as the default. Maybe I can.
Maybe there's something in the Windows you can do, or I don't know if
Oh
you use
yeah,
a
I think I
Mac.
can. Should probably do that. There we go.
Should be a set as default or something.
We can give like a minute or so more.
Yeah, let's give it a couple minutes. I think it's a holiday. Like, I don't know if it's a holiday in the States. I don't even know what holiday it is here in Canada, but it's a holiday.
You have a good weekend, dude?
Not bad. It was a fun little weekend of sports, you know. It was good. I got a few good bets in that hit. Other than that, it's been good. You know, trading's been
Are
a
you
bit
talking? Did I
rocky.
just lose it?
Yeah, can you hear me?
My sound?
I think you did. I'm here. Yeah, can you hear me? Checking, checking.
Oh, I I realized I just messed up the.
Output.
Okay, I'm good. I'm good now. I'm good now.
You're
I
good?
had the wrong
Awesome.
setting.
Yeah, I was saying, not bad, bro. My weekend was okay. We had, it was a fun weekend of sports, you know. So I had a few good bets come in. Did a bit of DFS that didn't do too well, but still always fun to get
Nice.
some lineups in, you know. Other than that, yeah, just a fun little weekend of, you know, working and
Yeah,
shit winning. You?
I was on Nuggets yesterday. I thought they'd at least, make it a little bit of a close game, but they got fucking blown out.
Yeah, I knew it started off so good, right? The first quarter is like, oh, this is gonna be a hot one. Like the Nuggets came out strong, put in a good lead. I missed the bet at -140 there for the OKC because I knew they were gonna come back. So I wanted to bet them, and I got greedy. I'm like, oh, let me wait for 2 more points or something, you know. And then they took the time out. I'm like, oh, this game's gonna shift, and I should have just bet right there, and I didn't. So then I just whatever. I just watched the game how it was. But yeah, that
Yeah.
was I was hoping for a
Um,
better game.
yeah. Thunder look good. I have a nice T-Wolves to win it all ticket at like 75 to 1. That
Wow,
I'm
from
hoping.
earlier.
Yeah, it was from before the playoffs started.
Well, I think their big test is this one, and then they're okay. I think it
Yeah, I
really
think they gotta
yeah,
they gotta make it through the Thunder. I might hedge a little bit. Maybe I'll throw some on the Thunder because they do look really good. I feel like it's gonna be a West team that wins it.
it is. I think so too. I kind of feel
Um,
like they're just missing something in the East.
yeah. All right, we can get it going. Nice little crowd.
Nice, nice, nice. GM, everybody. Another week of Wake and Jake. A little bit of a rocky weekend. It looked like we were going places, and then we started going other places real fast. But you know, we're here vibing still, talking through what might happen, what might not happen. Jake, GM, bro, how's everything? What are you seeing out there?
Yeah, man. Jim. Things are good. Excited to get back after it this week. I'm glad we had a really nice week last week, I'd say, just in general of a lot of stuff ripping throughout the week. We talked about it on the last show. I thought we hit on it pretty well, how we were pretty damn optimistic for these next at least like month or two. We'll play it by ear, but I think at least the next month or two is gonna be really nice for crypto stuff, and I still firmly believe that yeah, like you said, we had a lot of volatility over the weekend. Ran all the way up to like 107K, which was awesome. Yeah, that was yesterday. And then just fucking tanked back down to like 102, maybe like just above or so, and now sitting at about 104.6 right now. So obviously a lot of volatility. I think to be honest, I'm not like worried at all about that. It seems pretty expected if you just look back at where we were or like what happened when we were closing in on new all-time highs in the past. It was always super volatile. A lot of really big swings just because people leverage up like crazy when we get close to this all-time high, expecting for a big rip up, and a lot of times we have that, but also a lot of times there's quite a bit of fake outs before that to wipe out the leverage, and I think that's a lot of what we are seeing uh, right now is these false breakdowns, false breakouts. you just look at like the candles from, I think it might be the daily or maybe it was the 4 hour candles. They were just up down over the weekend. Um, but yeah, in general, I think we're in a really good spot. Really nice bounce this morning. We were sitting at like 102 or whatever when I woke up, 102, 3, 5 or whatever. And a really nice bounce. Today, also on the stock market too, there was this. The big macro news was U.S. credit downgrading by Moody's, one of the big major credit rating agencies. From what I've seen from people I follow, it seems like I mean, their take is that it is, a bit of a nothing burger in terms of the news. I mean, I feel like the market has shown that as well already. It is. I don't know a ton about all this. I did a quick little search, and this is the third of the three major credit ratings to have downgraded the U.S. to this level. So they're kind of just like the last one to do it. Um, so maybe that's why it's really not as big of news, is that they're kind of like behind the other two uh, major credit rating bureaus to do so. The first one was in 2011, and then the next one was in 2023. And now Moody's is doing it this year, based on, I think it's largely based on the U.S. debt problem. Um, but yeah, I mean, from what I've seen, I mean, Bitcoin actually ripped up after this happened, based on the safe haven narrative. I think up to that 107K mark, and then obviously fell back down. The stock market opened, a bit lower from Friday close, and then has rallied since then, and to pretty close to where we were at the end of the day Friday. So it seems largely, again, like I said, the market is also kind of showing that it's largely a nothing burger as well in terms of the news. So I'm not really too worried about that. Um, and then yeah, from what I'm seeing, still, again, I'm not a macro expert. I just follow people who I think are. Thankfully, we're getting more Don Alt um, sharing his stuff again, after he took a little bit of a break because I think he just had a baby. But here's his most recent one. He says this was from yesterday. It says it may as well just make a new all-time high at this point. This is when Bitcoin was at 105.5 or so. This is the daily chart. Um, yeah, things are looking really good. He's basically saying, oh yeah, and then this next one gives a little more context. This is from this morning, or late last night actually, like 3:40 a.m. Eastern. He's saying that we're all out of resistances technically. Last week, the weekly close is the weekly chart. The weekly close yesterday was the highest we've ever had. So that was like in itself already a new all-time high. And he's saying essentially the sky's the limit. And then he gives a bunch of caveats about, as long as macro doesn't rug us, sailors stay solvent, blah, blah, blah. But essentially, things are looking pretty bullish on the charts right now. Again, we're having a lot of volatility, as I mentioned. I think a lot of it is just people are over leveraged, getting too greedy, and that needs to get flushed out a bit before we start to run up. But in general, still feeling very, very good about where we are. Just another take from OGD Farmer, who's been really hot, I would say. If you've been following his calls, he's been pretty dead on nailing like the bottom of a lot of these dips. He's saying that we're looking really, really good. It was just an liquid Sunday, saying the downgrade is stupid narrative, blah blah blah. Too many sideliners. Would be a shame if we just ripped up, basically. So, yeah, I mean, in general, macro is looking really good, I would say. I think it seems pretty likely we're gonna get to a new all-time high here real soon. As long as people don't go crazy, crazy hard on leverage, we might have another flush or two before we actually hit that point. We'll see, but hopefully it comes soon. All-time high, by the way, is 10. I'm looking on CoinGecko. It says it's 108. Almost 800. 108,786 for Bitcoin is what it says in CoinGecko. So
We
hopefully
hit that
one
yesterday.
10K this week. That'd be fun.
Would be nice. It was a surprise to have that on a Sunday already. Like, I didn't get too crazy for that reason because I know we know how Sundays can be. They're so volatile. They're like you get these crazy dumps out of nowhere. So I just like watched with excitement and hoped that we didn't have a Sunday crash coming, but we did. So yeah, it was a fun little up and down, fun little up and down Sunday. But I think bright things are ahead. It's cool to see that we were able to do that on a Sunday with a couple of bad news narratives coming out that didn't really affect us too long term. So I think we're still gonna rip higher. Like if we really were in trouble after hitting that all time high, like we would have been much lower right now. When I woke up today and I looked at my phone, I'm like, that's not too bad. It's such a small little dip compared to what we've seen in the past that we might just make it through May without a sell in May and go away. We might. There's only a few days left here. We're getting there. Maybe it'll be so in June, and I mean, who knows? But no, it's really nice to
Yeah.
see. It's really nice to see. Hopefully, we get a good summer, man. It's like we had a bit of a really an early bull just because of how much hype was around Bitcoin and governments and all that. So we had like our bull run like really prematurely compared to what we usually do, and that was mostly on Bitcoin and other coins didn't move as much, so we didn't really get like it threw us off, but we really didn't get a full on bull run yet. A lot of people think we did. The people that are in this market every day, like us, make it seem like we did because we've had crazy moves. But if you look at it, really, we haven't had it yet. We haven't had crazy alt runs, and we haven't had like crazy momentum on Ethereum and on Solana like we did like years past, right? So I think that's still coming. I'm very optimistic that that's still coming. I hope that we have a crazy run that basically melts everybody's face off. So yeah, I don't know if that's gonna be during summer. I think maybe probably after, but hey, I'll take it whenever it comes. I'm just waiting, man. We need one of those pumps for our bags and something to get us really going here, putting us into the next gear. Because other than pockets of activity and like okay, Solana shitcoins wrecking everybody, but having like hundreds of thousands of people trying to play them, and that caused a lot of action and stuff. We haven't really had full on market blow off top yet, which I think needs to happen this cycle still.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think we still felt like anything like we felt in like the 2021 stuff, with how NFTs felt and how meme coins went crazy viral. I mean, we've had, like you said, like all the celeb coin shit, and scammers and stuff, but it never really felt like a blow off top to me either. Um, and I think really all what we need is just Bitcoin to make new highs, for the rest of the market to really kick into gear, and then we get the we kind of you it basically happens like every time when Bitcoin makes new all-time high or when it went over to 100K, it's like that's when we get a new rush of normies paying attention again because it makes all these headlines. And then people want to gamble more on the other coins too, and they think crypto's back. So um, hopefully we get that soon, and we can get another very fresh liquidity injection from the normies, quote unquote, and a bit of easier mode for trading and such.
Yeah, it'll be like we've seen in the past, and like we've even thought in the past. That's kind of why we gravitated to Ethereum, right? Oh, Bitcoin's too expensive at this price. What can I buy instead? And there's gonna be, I think, waves and waves of people buying into Ethereum because they'll be like, holy crap, Ethereum still hasn't had that big move yet. Like I expected ETH to be at 10K if Bitcoin's at 100. So I think that's gonna happen, and then Solana obviously naturally is also gonna move because people love Solana. You know what I mean? So I think especially those two are going to have a big run. And another one that we've been mentioning a lot lately, XRP, the normie coin. It's not my favorite coin, but you have to play it if you think it's going to go somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, that's when I think it's probably a decent bet here. XRP. It's like whenever there is that rush, whenever Bitcoin does start making new highs, like that's when XRP just has these huge candles and runs. Is because it's such like a normie friendly coin, that people love, like the Web2 finance bros love to buy. um, when crypto it gets hot again, and um, it certainly seems like crypto is getting hot again. I could see us getting another nice XRP pump real soon here. I know Don is big on XRP right now. This is from a higher time frame. This is a monthly chart, but um he's tweeted about this several times now over the last few weeks, but just saying it's a really clean chart. And he said that he thinks XRP is going to keep going to new highs. I'm pretty sure he's still holding a spot bag.
Yeah, this thing just holds floors so well. It's really nice to see. Like, look at those candles are all like basically bear market, and it didn't dip that much. It dipped like, okay, yeah, it's something 30-40 cents, but look how well it held and how it just popped up and stayed. It's gonna stay there. It's been there for months now, right? At the $1.50, $2 range, and mostly at the $2 range and up. But yeah, I'm starting to like XRP more and more just as a safe play. Just something that's gonna move, and once in a while it just moves violently. It just goes crazy. Like you could see it go from 250 to $4 or $5, like in a day if people start getting really hot on it. So it's one of those things where you just park your 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 money in there and just wait it out. It's not without much downside risk, and even if it does go below where you bought it, I don't think it's gonna stay there very long. It's a safe play, and I think normies are better off buying this now than they are shitcoins because they're just gonna lose everything anyway. So I think I'm never gonna talk shit about a normie that tells me to buy XRP again. I'm just gonna tell him, bro, that's the perfect coin for you. Make sure you buy it and don't sell it for now. Don't do anything else. Don't play shitcoins. You're gonna lose your money. Trust me. Just go do this, do that. You're right. Yes, it's crazy how things change. But yeah,
Yeah. Well, first, on that note, I've been looking at. I think it might actually be a good spot here. Kind of the combination of what you were just talking about. If we saw the last XRP run, there's some isolated shit coins that did really well on XRP, and this is some degen shit. And I think most people who are buying XRP aren't really like getting involved in any of the shit coins on the chain itself. But I mean, we saw last time like I think Army is the biggest one because that's what they call themselves, the XRP Army. That's probably the one I'd be interested in, and not really trying to go too far down the food chain there. Um, but I want to call that out at least. It's sitting at 17 million right now. I think its all-time high was let me see. All-time high was like 120 million. Um, that was in January during the first run up. So if we do see another little run on XRP stuff, if you want to kind of get a bit of a leveraged long as you would um, on it, kind of a beta play. I think XRP Army is a decent bet.
it's a good call. I forgot what I even used for XRP. I must have a wallet somewhere.
Yeah, I don't even know. Honestly, I haven't bought it because I don't. I'm honestly not even 100% sure how to bridge over. I'd have to look that up.
I think I
But
played on that. I just don't remember it. I think I did it really quickly one time, and now it's lost in my army of wallets here on my on my toolbar somewhere.
yeah, I'd probably have to buy an exchange or something and send over. But um, yeah, I think that's a decent bet sitting here. Still pretty low from where it was in the past, and I could see it getting attention again if XRP gets attention.
Good call. I like that call, especially if you just stick to the main one. If you're gonna go shit coining, just buy the main one and wait. Don't go crazy buying the really speculative ones.
Wait, that was not the right one, was it?
I don't think so. 5 months, maybe. I
Yeah, if you
linked
click
this.
it, that's not 220 market cap. That's weird.
That is odd. Huh. Ricky
Right.
just posted
You're
it and
right.
it looks like it's the
That's
same
right.
one.
Um. Yeah. Anyway, I can still shout out. Still, I can still really like ETH. A little bit of underperformance recently with the Bitcoin pump up, but I think it still looks pretty damn good. For its ETH BTC ratio to keep climbing a bit higher. from here, so I'm still a fan of where ETH is. It probably should need a little bit of a cool down after the big time run. Um, I mean, just coins in general, I think will look really good at the
I
moment.
think your volume just messed up again. I think
Damn it.
your mic. I mean,
All right, there we go.
we're good. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying I still like ETH a lot. I think it's in a pretty good spot still. We get some Bitcoin outperformance as people buy up to the all time high in the shorter term, but I think over this next month or two, ETH still is in a good spot from breaking out from its downtrend.
I think so too. I think it's going to be a hot couple months for ETH. Starting to pick up just volume in general on the chain and people looking at ETH and people both posting about ETH. It's really changed. So I expect it to keep going. I really think it's gonna start doing well here. And I like to look at the NFTs as an indicator, and you see a lot of them are kind of slowly creeping up or just holding really well. And that to me just signals a bottom. You know what I mean? It signals like the attention is starting to shift a little bit, and obviously when the main ones start running, people are going to like to do every year, and they're going to go look for the old NFTs that they loved so much, and they're going to go try to splurge on them a little bit as a speculative play or just an investment in general. So even when it comes to like ETH NFTs, I think the main ones are going to be maybe they have a chance to 2x from here even. So we'll see. Like I would love to see the Bored Apes back at like 30 plus and Punk's close to 100. I mean, that'd be sick. And I think that would be like really, really peak bull run right there. So we'll see. I hope it happens.
Yes, sir. Anyone else with us? Have any thoughts around macro stuff or the Bitcoins, Bitcoin, ETH, XRP, Solana stuff?
What up, Jake? Jinzo? Happy Monday.
Ross,
Buddy.
What up? Just want to flag. I feel like Solana itself, sneaky could be a great play. It's gotten so beaten down because of the extraction fears. A couple months ago, got as low as like $100. But you look at Bitcoin close to its all-time high. ETH putting in the mega almost 100% candle last week or 2 weeks ago. And Solana's still in that like 160, 170 band where just a couple months prior when we had sort of that AI meta, it was reaching 250, 260. So I'm sure you'll talk about the ICM meta that's coming up here shortly. But just as the majors are getting some more steam and just moving forward, I really like the risk reward that Solana is presenting compared to the other majors, especially if this ICM meta sticks. I think you're going to just see more and more volume over there. So I personally have been really eyeing it and been interested in Solana as a long.
I like that. And it's just got all the attention still, right? So much is going on that as people come into it, it'll do like it did before, just keep moving. So, yeah, I agree.
yeah, definitely. I mean, Solana is the chain with by far the most activity, right? So I think it still makes sense for it to continue to do really well. I like Solana as well.
Yeah, we never talk about it in here really. Like we're a bit away from there, but BNB is always a really good play. Like especially now that it's been sideways for a while, that coin loves to pop, and it's very similar to So actually, no, it's not like Solana at all, but it's similar to it where when obviously volume picks up on the chain, it just flies because there's a limited amount of BNB, right? So I think BNB is never talked about in here, but it's one of my favorite coins, and I used to play that coin a lot because it was just so easy to get runs out of it, like consistent, steady runs. And I think that one there should be on everybody's watch list because it's one of the most like important ecosystem coins out there, really, if you think about it, because BNB do everything, right? They have shit coins, they have actual dApps, they have everything. So an important coin, and it's used for their platform trading. So even if you want to just trade on Binance, if you hold BNB, you're getting reward like less fees and stuff. So there's so many ways it can be used, and I think it's never talked about, and it's something that needs to be considered because yeah, it's an expensive coin, but it's a coin that you can't be surprised if it does 15 or 20%, even if at its current market cap in a single day. It's done that often in the past. So I think that's another one that's a decent one to DCA into. But yeah, Solana, Ross, one thing to remember is price is good and all, but the market cap is important because the market cap just keeps growing even though the price doesn't. So it's always important to check market cap year over year and see if we're at all-time highs with market cap more than the price itself.
Yeah, that's a great shout, Jinzo.
Because even this last run we had, it was only like at 250 or 300, and everybody was like, "Oh, we haven't broken all-time high yet," but we had broken all-time high on a market cap by a lot. So that's just the thing people need to remember is that some coins are inflationary and not deflationary, and you need to kind of pay attention to how many coins are out there and what the market cap is because that's going to be the big indicator for the coin. You might even be front running 99% of the market by knowing that and by paying attention to actual market cap on some coins. So obviously important to look at because everybody was calling for higher highs on Solana, but we were already there. We were already like past the blow off top, and we were already like at peak euphoria of it. So, I know a lot of people had realized that. The good traders had realized that they were cashing out of Solana the whole time, while they were making plays. A lot of the big guys that either dump on their following or whatever. A lot of the big wallets that people track, they kept selling into dollars at the same time as selling into Solana when they were doing plays, and it paid off for them because now the market's down and they're holding hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars of USD that they can redeploy. So yeah, 4D chess from them over there. But yeah, not to get too sidetracked, we can move on. Big altcoins, Jake. Virtuals, I hear the ecosystem's not doing too bad, huh, Ross? Since we still have you up here, maybe you can talk to us about it a little bit. Are you still following along closely on virtuals and the new developments?
Yeah, definitely been, I'd say, putting maybe 10 to 20% of my attention there. 80%'s just been going to this invest or internet capital markets meta that kind of popped up the last week or two. But Ricky and I have been, Ricky Maru, that is, have been talking a lot about it. Essentially, they've just been creating a flywheel where if you can stake your virtual or other agent tokens just by holding, you'll get these virgin points, and the virgin points allow you to take part in these Genesis agent launches that they're coming up with. So if you recall from a long time ago, there was a lot of issues on the virtual platform and people launching new agents, and a lot of them would be botted immediately. So they came up with this new fair launch mechanism, which basically combats that. And the way to take part in the fair launch is through these virgin points. So there's been a couple projects that have come out, notably this project called Axelrod. And the way it works with these fair launches is you can get in by pledging virgin points and then virtual token to get access to these drops. And this is all just like a lot of word salad, but this is sort of the backdrop of the whole program. But the TLDR is if you pledge the right points, you can get in on these Genesis drops early. Most of them, if they're hot, are like guaranteed free money, but you are capped at how much you can put in. So it's not as if you can just get like free money to an unlimited scalable amount. So there's definitely been some attention over there. I would say it's just continuing to stay at a resistance level where virtual really likes to stay at around $2. I think we would need to see a major AI project come out or a current project make a notable breakthrough to really recaptivate the attention. But for right now, I think it's just a good time to accumulate virgin points if you think we're going to rotate back into the AI meta at some point. If you think that it's not, then I would probably look to pack it up. So that's sort of the current state of virtual. And Ricky, if you're there, feel free to chime in, bro. I know you and I have been keeping an eye out on that one.
Yeah, good shot on that, dude. I was gonna bring that up. It seems like a pretty good, from what I've seen. I haven't dug into it super. I just kind of got a general TLDR of how it works, but I like the fact that it's they're rewarding the people who are in the ecosystem already and who have shown to hold these coins. They're getting it's almost like a nice positive flywheel, I guess, for these coins. If the people who are already holding are going to get the biggest benefit to getting more of new coins, and it kind of just helps um, new launches to have more diamond hand holders in them and less traders, which is obviously good for price and good for the platform. So I like what they're doing. I haven't participated myself, but I think it's certainly not a bad bet. Like you said, if you are in the belief that AI meta is gonna come back in force again, and you get this is a nice way to kind of get a bit of a head start on accumulating those points to get allocations to all the new launches.
Yeah, it feels like AI is making a strong comeback, and if it looks like Virtual's pivoted. I remember you telling us about a bunch of issues, even though you were super bullish on it, and it's nice to see that they're working on that stuff. It's I think they had all the attention and they kind of fumbled it, so it's nice to see that they're kind of getting back on track. I think that's a decent ecosystem. I'm not involved either. There's just way too much going on. You know how it is, but I'm glad you are because then we always get updates, and people do different things, so it's good to have MVHQ and a lot of different specialists that can always keep us in tune with the market. And now, if we feel like something's going not good for us and what we're doing, maybe we could just pivot. And that's great. Thank you, Ross.
Yeah, no problem. And I see AI asked a question here about, are the agents launching any good? I would say not really. Like, it's still TBD in that spot where we're looking for the next big breakthrough. And from people that I've talked to who are really tapped into the AI scene, the thing that they're really looking for are autonomous trade bots. So the current state of virtuals is sort of in that in between of the last run and then currently right now where people are just sort of building. So last time we saw a lot of Yapper bots come out, right? Just like stuff like Cerebro, just automated Twitters that just post content. And those seemed cool, but now people are just bored of them. There's also a ton of agents that were like, here are signals and here are indicators, and this coin looks good. And that worked until it didn't because people were finding that like a lot of the activity of the bots was prompting people to follow in. So AIXBT might call out a coin and then people would say, oh, AIXBT called it out. I'm going to, leg into it. And then that would push the coin higher. So we're at a point now where for the AI bots to really catch on, I think you need a few different things to potentially happen, but they all come down to, can an AI actually trade better than an influencer or a trader if it can actually identify coins that are going to pump accurately and then give people the ability to just invest in the AI bot, right? So like the bot is going to do all of the trading for you. You own the token, and then the bot is going to trade, make profit, and then if you hold the token, you'll get some of that profit, or you'll basically just be like lumped into an automated hedge fund essentially. I think that is what we need to see to really bring interest back to AI agents. So this project Axelrod, Kosher, Squid Degen, they've been doing okay. They've been holding on. Other than that, there's maybe some projects that deal with robotics or some other cases, but we're still looking for like moving the needle in terms of innovation to really bring attention back to AI. If that doesn't happen, then we're not really going to see that next leg up for virtual.
Yeah, good call. I think it's got to be innovative, and we need to see things that we actually need, not just fluff. And I think it'll move. But that's also, I think, also the run we went on will kind of showed us that we don't care about, like, who cares about chatbots? Honestly, they're just fucking annoying, and we see them in comments and stuff, and we're just like so annoyed at them every time I see one fucking commenting on Twitter. And I knew this was happening, but once we get more like substantial things, like things that could actually help us in the space and things we need, I think once those get developed, then it'll do well. But I guess it depends also what platform they choose to develop on, right? Because there's just a few different ones. But I think in general, AI is okay for the future, and virtuals might be, one of the main ones. So it's still at $2. I mean, it's very good. I think if they keep building, they'll be fine.
For sure. But that being said, would love to hear from you and Jake on ICM, unless you have a different segue, but this seems like a pretty sleek little segue into the new emerging meta that's just stealing all the attention away from virtual and AI, and I think it's a lot lower barrier to entry. So curious what you guys have been making of all that.
The only thing I know about it is that I played the main coin in and out real quick, and I never looked into it. That's about it. That's all I know. I went more degen on that one. So even again, like I know you, like I wouldn't mind hearing what you have to say because I'm sure you can enlighten a lot of us. I haven't looked into it at all, bro.
Jinzo,
I don't
I
know.
think
You
he
want Jake
means
maybe?
just in general the Believe platform.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah. I
That's
didn't
what
know they
they're
were.
doing. It's like internet capital markets. That's what they call it. Like what they're.
I didn't know they were linked. Okay, okay, I get what you mean now. Yeah. Again, yeah, I just traded the coins. I didn't really look into it, but I mean, it's cool. It disrupted, right? If you're talking about Believe Coin and Launch Coin, right? Is that what we're talking about?
Yes, we sure are.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's cool. It disrupted. What I like is that it disrupted Pump Fund and it gave power to to more like to better to creators basically in a way. It's like a nice little hybrid, I think, and it found a way to get attention. You know what I mean? It's already pretty good. I mean, we need to find like a lot of other companies tried to disrupt Pump Fund and were not able to. And even Boop came out and tried, and it lasted 2 days. Blah blah blah. Like so many different ones tried. And I think Pump Fund was kind of ruining the space a little bit, where everybody was just hyper gambling on it, and they were just max extracting. And this kind of gives it a different vibe a little bit. So it's cool. I mean, people latched on to this, and they really um, I don't know, like I don't e- like it's crazy because it launched a while ago and nobody really took it seriously and it did well for like a day or two and I guess the way it launched didn't work out, but then they reworked it all and some people that paid attention to it, like I guess price action does dictate a lot of it, but the fact that it mooned like it did, people already had attention on it, a handful of people, but then it became like it spread like wildfire and people started launching coins on it and it was cool. I liked the way it came about. Now, is it gonna have staying power for a while? Like I think so. I mean, I like that it had its dip already a couple of times and people were able to cash out big money and it just came right back up. So it's got all the attention right now and I hope it continues. But when it comes to actual technical the technical side of it, I haven't dug into it enough. I just know that I like the price action on it right now.
Yeah. I see both sides of it. It's definitely controversial. The way they're doing it, just because like all these products are just launching to coin. Um, I don't know. I still like in general. Like if we're talking meme coins, I chitters. Like I still like the meme aspect of a coin. I'm still like way more attracted to that um than like one attached to like a business, I guess. It's just like there's less execution risk from like a founding team. There's also been so many farms and rugs on this platform. There was like one this morning where people are just like creating whole LinkedIn's and like professional websites and shit, and it's still a rug. But they launch on this like belief platform, and I feel like it's like making people think that it's more legitimate somehow. Um, because they're launching with believe and they like make this whole site and stuff. It's almost like when people would launch on Pump Fund, people would think when these like fake projects and stuff would launch on Pump Fund and for like a real business, everyone would be like, why would you launch your coin at Pump Fund? This doesn't make any sense. But now it's like it almost like legitimizes like a business launching their coin on this belief platform. So now it's easier, I would say, for like scam business people to like launch these like scam business stuff, and then throw a coin out there, and for people to kind of latch on a bit, to the narrative of using the coin. I think it makes sense. The whole like we only take fees on volume, and we don't sell the coin. I think that's a decent alignment. I would like to see it more aligned with, some type of like the holders getting something back too, besides just the creators and the Believe platform, because it is pretty extractive. The current model right now, I don't really see how it's much different at all from Pump Fund in terms of like the extractiveness of it. Um, so it's not super, I would say, like Web3 friendly. I don't know. I think it's fine. I think people kind of see through it a lot of times. But if there could be some nice use cases if there's these tokens are implemented into the products in some way. But it seems like most of them aren't really doing that.
Yeah, I guess it's still not a perfect thing. Like even if you look at Boop, they give too much to create to stakers and stuff, and that just doesn't allow coins to run. And then obviously they don't have the volume either. Like if they had the volume that Believe does, maybe they'd have a better shot. But if you just look at it, like anytime someone receives a coin on Boop because they're the rewards are going to actual holders, they're just dumping everything and not letting anything run. But I guess yeah, if we had a mix or if we had just more attention on Boop, we can test that system out a little bit more. But they have not done a good job at all of retaining users or even getting people to launch. So I mean, yeah, I want to see. I guess we still haven't found the perfect system yet. And even if we did, these scammers are just gonna find a way to scam and exploit again on those also. So it's never gonna be perfect. I don't think. We just need to go to where the volume goes.
I will say in general, I just like the fact that we get a new narrative. I think new narratives can always be quite a positive, especially for us in MVHQ who we really dive down and figure out what's the best tools to use along with it and what's the meta and we try to get ahead of it. Having all the scanners and stuff up really quickly and the best tools to catch these launches right away and figuring what people are on. And I think we did really well with a lot of the new launches, especially early on when the meta was catching on. So I think in general, it's nice when we have these new narratives and metas because then we have people who are really just going more risk on into things than what they normally would because they are excited and there's the theoretical no, there's not any type of hard ceiling of where this could go because it hasn't been done before.
Yeah, have you seen the terminal that Kalana built from MVHQ? Yeah, I had pinned it yesterday in chat, but I can link it again. It's decent.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I'll put it in just in voice hangout. They made a coin with it too, but I guess Kalana's not very known on Twitter, so it hasn't picked up. It's at 60K. But the terminal itself, I found it really nice. There's even a mindshare map and everything that they put together. So I found it pretty cool so far.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, it looks really nice. I think this is a sleeper. So I've been looking at this. I haven't dug into it too much because yesterday I didn't trade much, but I put this on my list of tools right now, and I've been digging through it because I think it's really cool.
Sweet, yeah. I'll dive into this.
Yep. Anybody else on Believe or even Virtuals? I'll say one more thing on it. Yesterday or even Saturday or was it Sunday? I don't know. We saw a lot of money coming right back into the alts. Like Pasternak had well, that's the main coin there, right? But it had dumped to under 200 by quite a bit. I think it went down to 170 or something, and then Poe and a bunch of other big names started buying right back into it. I guess it had to go through that little sell-off and consolidation, like I was talking about earlier. And then Pasternak and Gooncoin, the main runners, started to catch a bid. I was DCing into Gooncoin for a while there because I just felt like there's no way this is not going to be the main runner. There was a bit of PvP going on, and people were trying to identify if this is going to be the one, or if it was going to be startup, or if it was going to be other coins that had launched. But as soon as we saw a little bit of consolidation, people started bidding them up again. So I think this is good. This is what we needed. We needed to go through that first sell-off and come back into a place where people were comfortable bidding. And we're starting to see that. Market dumped, so Gooncoin dumped, and other coins had dumped a little bit, but now they're recovering again. So there's a few coins out there that if you are interested in that ecosystem and you think it's going to do well, that you can look at. And I think Gooncoin might be the main one. It's like the fart coin of this ecosystem. It's just a fun little meme. I don't know how high it can go, honestly. I'm just gonna hold the bag for a while and see where it goes. But even if you're just the type to liquidity pool, this is a good one to do it with because it's got a lot of volume and it's in a tight range. Or if you're someone that's looking to just flip for a quick percent, you can do it with this coin too. There's plays out there. So, and it's been a little safer than Pump Fund lately, just playing on this platform and trying to find good coins. since it has all the attention right now. So that's it. That's basically what I have to say on this. Someone has a goat. Who has a goat? Oh, it's AI. Oh, no. He must be taking care of his kids.
Who's on?
Yeah, Jinzo, with that, I definitely wanted to chime in and just shout out what you were saying with the structure. So with Launchcoin, a lot of these are launched in more fair mechanisms than pump funds where there's common scams with people botting allocations off the bat. So I would say that's the main benefit of these launch coins is that they actually are somewhat fairly distributed. There's obviously some ways around that. And then to Jake's point, I'd say the biggest risk is the fake pump because you're pretty much retroactively attaching coins to existing projects. So it's very easy for people to pretend to be CEOs of existing Web2 apps or just taking credit for other things, launching a coin, news breaks, it's not real, and then it just tanks. Um, but the speculation and just kind of the future value prospect, I think, is for sure there. So I really like your shout out to just buy the dips on some of these main things, and I specifically think Launchcoin is a really good one to load if it does dip. I'm not sure how low we get, but I think it really is that perfect blend of a token that would appeal to crypto people as well as VC firms specifically. If they can ever get to a point where the token launch actually does represent ownership in some of these startups that are launching through the Believe app, I think that would be where you would go full risk on, in my point. If they really manage a way to do that, Ben Pasternak has enough reputation where he would be trustworthy enough for VCs to invest in him. I think it would be a really good platform to actually get that narrative on. So a lot of steps between here and there. But if it ever does get to that point, I really think that Launchcoin could become a multi-bill market cap. So definitely one to keep an eye out on. And not trying to cause FOMO or anything. I think there's a lot that needs to happen, but if we do see that approval, I think this meta gets a lot more juicy.
Yeah, it's not listed many places yet either. I think only KuCoin and a couple others. Like it's starting to catch attention, but if you know how it is with exchanges these days, they kill for volume. They just want to have a piece of the pie. They have no choice. They need to make money. So I think once listings start coming in on this and maybe some of the main coins, then we'll be in a better shape. Obviously, they got listed on places like Hyperliquid and in a lot of these like perp platforms, but nothing major yet in a way of just traditional listings.
Yeah, I did want to shout out. There was an update just this morning on Meteora that they're rolling out. I think a lot of it has to do with kind of like this anti-snipe because that was one of the biggest complaints about the Launchcoin stuff is that there's just crazy snipers that run at anything decent, like it gets auto sniped to like 1,000,000, basically off the tweets. And so there was this Meteora update that they rolled out in terms of like this bonding curve to make it a little bit more expensive, I would say, to snipe. It seems. I haven't like fully dove into this. I kind of just briefly read over this tweet. But essentially, it does increases fees and such to deter people from sniping within the first like few seconds of a coin launch. So hopefully that's like decently helpful to these belief launches.
Yeah, it's true. That was a big flaw. So I'm happy they did that. Let's see if it works. They're just gonna find a way around it probably.
Yeah, probably.
I tell you, it's always a cat and mouse game. But yeah, um, if anybody else has anything on there, let's do it because I got other stuff to talk about and we're running out of time. Actually, now let's just move on. I want to touch on Abstract a bit and give you guys an update of what's been happening there. On the over the weekend, and even before the weekend, we had a lot of nice runs on even altcoins and shitcoins there. A lot of the coins went crazy. Like this Gunnar coin on Abstract, it's up again today. Actually, it's like the goon version of abstract, and they really like even pudgy penguins had like retweeted it and talked about it and made memes about it, and now they're ran to 1.5 mil market cap. Like the market cap's still pretty low on abstract, but I see even big names on Twitter start to catch on that maybe this is a good play. And a lot of them had ran like Drew Millionaires. We talked about these because they minted last week, right? And they ran to point 0.2, the NFT itself, and then came back down to the point 0.1 range, and now bounced right back up to point 0.2. So there's decent action on abstract, and I keep reminding you guys to just not fade and keep an eye on it if you do have the bandwidth for it. And it just feels like with time, this ecosystem is just catching more and more attention and mind share. And now it looks like the focus has kind of shifted a little bit to shitcoins on there, but it doesn't come without warnings. Obviously, like it's low liquidity, so you know what I mean. Things can just die out of nowhere. But that's also a good thing because maybe you're getting into coins that haven't moved yet because there's not enough liquidity on abstract yet. They're also a little bit harder to buy if you don't have an abstract wallet and don't play on their platforms. So that's one of the reasons. Um, but yeah, I mean, we even had some FUD where Loki, one of the big Pudgy Penguins guys and abstract guys, had kind of backed a coin called Little ET, and it did really well. Like it went from 50K all the way up to 400K. But then this dummy, he just decides to sell his allocation. Like why? I don't understand. Do you need half an ETH that bad, bro? Like come on. And you know how that usually plays out for coins, right? When the dev or whatever sells, everybody floods and it crashes like crazy. So it's been mop up duty for him. I'm trying to explain himself and kind of ruined his reputation a little bit over half an ETH, right? So there's things like that happening on there too. It's just he didn't really want to be a part of the coin itself, and he wanted to just like let it run. So he decided to sell. What he should have done is just burn it or you know what I mean, do or lock the tokens, do something. But selling is about the worst thing you can do. He could just CTO. He could have given it to a CTO and just locked his coins and just been backed off from the project. But I think he got greedy and then he started like covering his own ass over it. So that kind of shed like a bit of negativity over the ecosystem. But it feels like that's blowing over really well, and some of the main coins are doing okay. So yeah, that's one thing I wanted to point out there, and just the NFTs are still holding really well, really well. People are buying them up for XP and stuff. And again, the same farms that we always talk about. I'm not going to talk about them today, but just putting it out there that it feels like more and more people are talking about abstract, and it's growing daily in volume and stuff. Other than that, yeah, that's all I have on abstract. I wanted to talk about one more thing, but I forgot what it was. Boop, yeah, I'll just give an update there too. I don't know if I talked about this earlier. Maybe I did. But Dingaling decided to sweep up these Beta Kuma NFTs, and he ran them up from like 0.05 all the way up to 0.15. They did really well over the weekend, but now they crashed hard. I don't know where this crash came from, why they're back down to 0.05. I'm bidding them up a little bit just in case he doesn't let go of these, but I have a feeling he's going to keep promoting it just because it's the main runner right now on Boop, and he's trying to bring attention to Boop, right? And I see my timeline's full of Kuma, the coin itself that ran up to 20 million. So I'm gonna look at it now and see what it's at. I haven't checked, but I feel like they're gonna be putting a lot of like power behind that coin and trying to prop it up and make it the main runner on Boop. So if ever you're looking for a little bit of exposure without getting too crazy, maybe the NFT is the way to do it because they launched the NFT before the coin, and it's getting a little bit of attention. So I feel like this might be a good dip for it. Yeah, the coin's at 17 mil. If you think it has like reason to run, I mean, it's obviously risky because Boop has like no attention to it. But if I were to play more on Boop, I would probably just buy those NFTs and see if Kuma could run up and see if I get a little 2-3x out of the NFTs that crashed hard this weekend.
Yeah, good shout. I like just saw this morning. It's very sus looking chart.
Yeah, weird, right?
But
Like I just dumped. I woke up to it and I opened it. I'm like, huh? This was at point 0.1 last night. All of a sudden, a huge dump. But there's a bit of volume, so I don't know. I just put a few bids out there and see if I can get them for cheap since yeah.
yeah, I was talking about the coin, but yeah.
I feel like they're just dumping soul into it to make it relevant. I think Dingaling is just dumping all kinds of money into it and having other friends do the same. So I think that's what's happening there. Everything else is dead on Boop. So I think they just kind of like focused on one coin and decided to make a bit of a PR move on that one, and hoping that it brings in more people through that coin and through like one meme that they try to run up on this platform.
Yeah, it seems like it's pretty heavily supply controlled. From what I'm seeing, like most of these, vast majority of the top wallets haven't been active in over a week.
Yeah.
Despite the price ripping higher. So, yeah. Cool.
Looking
Speaking
good,
of,
man.
Bitcoin's still ripping. By the way, on the abstract stuff, monsters.fun. I wanted to shout out a mint on Wednesday. That's a pretty hype one, done by former MVHQ member Moody as well is the leader there. Moody's a great dude. So would check that one out. I think we had some. We might have had some Lawless. I can't remember. We did on. I think we did on our platform at least.
We did on our platform. When is that? Is that opening today?
750 counts. What's up?
Is that opening today? The pre-sales today?
No, Wednesday,
The 22nd? 21st. Okay.
21st. Yeah. On OpenSea is they're running it through OpenSea. So we'll check that out. Maybe some trading opportunities there. That one's pretty hyped. I've been seeing a lot of people. I've been seeing like Saigar and I think Luca and some other people who've been commenting on it, like getting all pumped for it. So that one's a pretty hype launch to pay attention to. And then also Nura. I'm not sure exactly how you pronounce it. I think it's Nura.
Yeah.
Obviously, Big Floppa's project is doing their memory. I think the memories is what it's called today.
I'll tell you right now. It's memory mints. No, if you hold the memory, you can mint the near pre-sale, which is on abstract. And I'm not sure what they're calling it though. Must be memories sale. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I wasn't sure. I haven't really dug in, but yeah, it's today. And everybody's allowed. Anybody that's in can have the pre-sale price of 0.059. And I just don't know what time it goes live. I should check now. I got up and I saw this email, this message from him. So I'm glad he keeps me posted because I don't, man, my bandwidth is so tight right now, and it's so split up onto different things that if I don't get these messages from Floppa, I'm just missing things, and I really want to like help him out here. And I think it's really cool what they're doing. So yeah, I'm glad he reaches out to tell me.
Yeah, so hopefully that goes well for those guys. I think that's pretty hyped. Oh yeah, I want to shout out Ezra and just shared that the Ethos Echo group is live. I shared it earlier, but he says anyone on Echo who's applied to the base ecosystem group is able to invest. Doesn't take long to sign up, and they likely accept you fast if you wanted to try. So, if you are interested, I think they said it was a $500 minimum. If you want to invest in Ethos on the Echo group, so check that out if you're interested there. Yeah, obviously we had a super nice airdrop from Ethos last week to the top 220 or something like that, 250. I think it was based on the XP leaderboard that they did, and a lot of MVHQ people got in on that, so that was really cool. That a lot of the farming and stuff paid off in a way that was unexpected too. It was mainly doing it for like the token and the TGE, but to get an NFT from them as well, that was worth a hefty amount. I think it's like 2.6, 2.7 ETH floor right now. Yeah, so that was great. Really nice win for a lot of MVHQ people who've been farming Ethos stuff.
Yep, really nice. I missed out on that one by quite a bit. I guess I didn't farm enough for it, but I'm happy. Like a lot of people in our group did really well with that. You know what I mean? We were loud about it, Jake. Every show, like even in writing all the time in chats, and it was a very unexpected cook. And I think also aside from people making profit on that, you know what I mean, which is great. And I'm sure a lot of people won't even sell it because you know what I mean. It's such a nice PFP, but it's brought more attention to Ethos. It's found like I find it such a nice project that the guy like Serb just put together. to reward people, and I'm sure he didn't even expect it to be at this high of a floor, and that's just like a nice little byproduct of it. But at the same time, it had the effect of just getting people excited about ethos and like, holy crap, that's actually pretty cool that they did that, just reward people with an NFT. We haven't seen that in a while. So it was a very feel good thing with, you know what I mean, that rewarded the top users, and maybe it's giving that expectation to people that, oh, maybe he's going to do more of these, so it'll prop up the volume on ethos also, which is cool. So yeah, I think it's just going to get a little bit more competitive for the top spots now, but still a super cool thing that he did, and I think it blew past his expectations of what this might even be. Like, he just wanted to probably give back. I don't think he thought through the fact that this would be such a good thing for the eco and for how people feel about it, and I think it like he really knocked it out of the park with it.
Yeah, 100% agreed. I'm still farming every day. Ethos stuff, it's pretty easy. Doesn't take too long, and you can kind of go more in depth if you want to, and leave more reviews and stuff on people. Um,
I think the
yeah,
big
I wanted to.
oh, go ahead,
Sorry,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, I
No,
was
go
just
ahead. I
gonna
was gonna
say
finish something.
yeah, I was just gonna say I think the big thing there, when I noticed, I looked at the leaderboard after, because I was trying to find out why I missed, you know what I mean, because I was really active on it early on. They gave so many points for invite codes, so if you have someone that you like, you think is going to be good for the platform, and they're just going to participate and stuff, get them on there, because that's the easiest way I saw for you to get XP. I saw people that had like maybe 10 times my points, and all they did is invite a couple people. So I only had one invite that I gave out, and I got 30k points. I think if I had given out maybe 2 or 3 more invites, I would have been easily in the top 200. So I think that was the big alpha that people missed, was just good invites are very important for the leaderboard. But yeah, go ahead, Joe.
Oh yeah, good shouts. No, I was gonna bring up Hyperliquid. Their EVM, I think, is a really interesting farm opportunity right now. Obviously, we saw, the original Hyperliquid users just get incredibly rewarded. And they have their EVM out now. I don't think there's very many users, to be honest. And I think there's still an opportunity here. Also, with a lot of the different protocols that are on there, I see some really smart people farming that right now. We have a Hyperliquid um, host here, who Banger and Linus Caldwell, who, if you guys know, are both super sharp members. Obviously, they've shared some really nice info in that thread about some opportunities in the Hyperliquid ecosystem. And I mean, I'm personally very bullish on Hyperliquid. Since from someone who trades perps, like it's an awesome experience for being a decentralized platform. And I think it's only going to gain popularity more and more, and I would bet on them as they expand their EVM to the whole chain. I really want to bet more on this ecosystem. So I'm super interested in those farms over there. I haven't dove in yet. I just kind of been reading through the chat and the recommended farms from those sharp members. But I plan to this week dive in more, and then maybe I can report back next week on some of my favorites, some
Bro, that
strategies.
that coin just doesn't dip. It's crazy. Like, they had such a big airdrop, and yeah, it dipped initially. I think like the smart people I know, even Resang and stuff, bought it up like crazy at that range. I think between $5 and $10. I'm like, holy fuck, this thing's crazy. And now it's at 27, and it just keeps running. It's like, even when the market dips, this thing barely goes down. It's just goes to show how strong that ecosystem is. People are, and it doesn't sound like too many people are too worried about the next airdrop coming up. They just keep buying up the token, and I don't know what I want to do yet. Like, I feel like I should just DCA into it, because it's a good long-term play. This ecosystem has taken the world by storm, really, and they're just gonna keep growing. But yo, it's at 8 billion market cap right now, or maybe FTV. I don't know. I have to check. But I'm a little worried of that next airdrop, and I'm thinking that's maybe when I will go in hard on it. I'm just gonna let people kind of like farm it, and when that next airdrop comes, which should be soon, maybe a couple months, I think maybe I'll go there. But what if it's at 50 when that comes out, and all of a sudden it only drops to 30? So yeah, a lot of decisions to make there, but I feel like it's still early in a way, and it shouldn't be faded. And I feel like I've been fading it for way too long. I need to get into it.
Yeah, I think it looks. I mean, chart looks pretty good to me. I think it's been ranging for like months now, a bit. So I personally am pretty bullish on hype, the asset as well, and the ecosystem, just all that in general. It seems like the hot ecosystem to me, of this cycle. So I want to place more bets on it. I think there's a lot more room to run here.
Yep, I agree.
Good
That and
tokenomics too, with how much buybacks they do. Since I mean they make an insane amount of revenue, and a lot of that goes back into token buybacks. So obviously good for price.
agreed. Yeah. That's all I got. Jake, what about you? Anything else?
No, that's all I had on my list too. Anyone, community, listen in. You guys got anything you want to chat about?
Guess what I'll say is check out the field reports. Metarova has a couple, like has one on NFTs, identifying solid NFT projects. I think it's a good read. Then Botwin has a couple on Pokemon cards because they're still super hot. I think if you're not in Pokemon cards and you want to get in, I mean, we have a lot of good people in this Discord that talk trading cards all the time. We have a thread that's really hot for trading cards, and I mean, a lot of us hitting a lot of the drops, and it's instant 2-3x. So, if you're looking to get into something and pivoting onto something more physical, you can do it with us. But yeah, that's it. Just check out their field reports. Check out our website. We have on our app we have a new missions that just went up. One of them is for a Pokemon card. It's a giveaway. So if you're looking to get your hands on your first graded card, that might be the way. Just yeah, a few different things happening on our website right now.
Yes, sir.
But
Love it.
that's it for me, gang. Thank you so much, Jake. Always fun, bro.
Oh yeah, always a great time.
Take care, everybody.
Yep. See you in the chats. Thanks, y'all.